Well, today our practice is about the hip hinge. This is a gentle practice, but we are going to do some things to focus in on the hip hinge and the iliopsoas muscle. So we're going to, open up a little there as well as just kind of pay attention to it a little bit more. But before we do anything, we've got time to relax. So yep. Just to lay back, relax, and surrender to the fact that you decided to do this today, to be here on your mat. So be here. Let the breath flow easy. Feel the cool air as it flows in through the nostrils, the warm air that flows out. Before we begin to move, we are going to focus in even more on the breath. If you'll place your hands around the lower part of your rib cage, thumbs to the back side, fingers to the front side. Feel the breath moving through the rib cage in all directions. And now place your fingers, your pointer fingers or whatever, on the hip points, and maybe even just right above your hip points. See if you can feel the breath moving all the way down into the hip points. So we're going to focus in today, not only on that hip hinge, but also this container of breath, the breath moving down and out, all sides of the body, feeling the breath move. But the biggest part of this is using the diaphragm in a way that's efficient, letting the breath flow all the way down. And now begin to move the body in the way that you would like to move it, whether that be a long stretch, maybe knees into chest, maybe a little both, maybe soles of the feet to the mat and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Together, let's set the soles of the feet to the mat. And it doesn't matter how far away they are from the bottom. Arms are alongside you, palms down. We are going to lift the right leg up into the air and just pause here for a second and maybe even take the left thumb and press it into that left hip crease. And then let the foot travel back to the mat. You'll lift the leg back up and let it flow back down. Now you can choose, we're going to stick with this right side. You can choose to keep the leg bent, or you could straighten it out just a little bit. Now we're working on or thinking about the hip hinge mostly from a perspective of a forward fold. So I want you to think here about the spinal alignment. And if you were to straighten your leg and flow, let the leg flow down and let it go, flow back up, there might be a point when the leg reaches toward the floor that the lower back and the sacrum come up off the mat. So we know that when we hinge the body from a standing position, there does need to be a little slight bend in the knee in order to keep that spinal alignment. All right, that right foot can return to the floor. And let's just lift the left leg up here for a second with the knee bent. And maybe you put your thumb into that hip crease. And now let's let the foot flow back to the mat and back up to where you started. Just feel what needs to happen there in order for the leg to move, especially from this up, coming back up. You can feel that muscle that needs to lift. There's a lot going on here, but now you're welcome to keep the knee bent, or you could straighten the leg a little bit more. Keep the core engaged, keep that 360 breath. This movement can be your pace. Perfect. All right. And then let the sole of the left foot return to the mat. And actually here, let's hug the knees into the chest. Now this time we'll set the soles of the feet to the mat. You can bring them close into the bottom. Arms are alongside you again. Let's gently press the lower back to the mat. Begin to peel one vertebra up off the mat. We bridge up to the shoulders. Once you bridge up, bridge right back down. Slow articulation of the spine. Feel each vertebra connect with the mat. Once you bridge up, you'll slowly, or bridge down, you'll slowly bridge right back up. Again, real slow, controlled movement. Now, the next time you find yourself up in your bridge, pause right there. We are going to slowly march. So the same leg position that we started with our back to the floor. So all of your weight will come to the left foot. The right foot will come up. Pause here just for a second. And notice the left hip opening, the right hip closing, that hip crease. Set the right foot back to the mat and lift your left foot up into the air. So notice the difference here, the strength that's required through the back body. Set the left foot down. We have just a couple more of these. We'll bring the right foot up or right leg up in that 90-degree shape. Set the right foot down. The left foot comes up, keeping that 90-degree shape. Perfect. Set the left foot down. Pause here in your bridge, pushing fully through your feet. And then it's a slow bridge down. Hug the knees into your chest. Good. All right, we rock and roll up to seated. And let's move right on over to a child's pose. Now in your child's pose, once again, just taking a little bit of a few seconds here to notice this deep hip crease. Full, just completely closed off. All right, now let's make our way to all fours. With that tabletop position, we're going to send the right leg straight out to the side, the sole of the foot connected to the mat, the left knee underneath the left hip. On your inhale, find a cow pose, tailbone up, chin up. As you exhale, cat round. Inhaling, finding cow pose. And exhale, cat. One more nice and slow. Inhaling, finding cow. Exhale, cat. Return to a flat back. Let the left forearm land to the mat. Elbow underneath the shoulder. Send your right arm up into the air. You can come down a little bit deeper if you'd like. Bring that elbow to the mat if you want to find, even more of a twist there. Good. All right, now the right forearm is going to come to the mat and the right leg is going to go all the way back. The left foot goes back to join it. Yep, this is gentle yoga, so let's drop the knees to the mat, but let's stay here just for a couple of breaths. Regardless of gentle or not, we're going to just do a little bit of strengthening here. This is one for the entire body. Push through the forearms, find the strength through the upper body. Turn on the glutes, core is strong. Good. And then we'll press ourselves back to a child's pose. Pausing here for just a couple of breaths. We'll do the same series, other side. Let's return to all fours. Your left leg will now go out to the side, straight out. And we'll move through 3 rounds of cow and cat. Starting with your cow pose, deep breath. Exhaling, cat. Again, inhaling, finding cow pose. And exhaling, cat. One more time here, slow, easy breaths. Find your cat pose. Return to a flat back. Set the right forearm to the mat, elbow underneath the shoulder. Send your left arm up into the air for a twist. Bring the left forearm to the mat. We move once again into a modified or unmodified elbow plank. So you decide here. We'll hold here 2 breaths. Breathe from a 360 perspective. So let the breath move through all sides of the body with a slight abdominal engagement. And then we gently drop the knees to the mat if they're not there already. Press back again to an extended child's pose, but this time let's add a little bit of a side stretch. So walk your hands to the left. Press a little extra weight into that right hip. Breathe through the right side of the body. Maybe crawl those right fingertips forward a little bit more or place your right hand on top of your left. Walk your hands over to the right, finding that left side body length. So whatever you need to do here to create the length, find it and hold. Perfect, and then walk the hands back to center. All right, we're gonna come up and sit onto the heels. If you will, you didn't grab a strap today? All right, so grab a strap. That right hand is going to come up behind you. The left hand, we're not doing cow's face necessarily. So that right hand is actually to the back side of the head. It's just adding a little bit of a kind of a visual and a sense behind you of a straight back. So that left hand, again, it's not cow's face. Yes, we are going to focus on that a little bit later. But right here, that left hand is to the sacrum, the lower part of the back. And all we're going to do from here, engage the core, and we're going to hip hinge. And what I want you to think about, well, first of all, from this position, I want you to do your best rounding and just feel how there's that tightness on the strap. We don't want that. We want it to be in a position as we hinge where the body stays in this straight spine. So hinge your body, doesn't have to go, you don't have to go far here, just getting a sense of this movement, and then come back up to center or come back to where you started. So once again here, you're hinging your body with the spine staying long, core is engaged, and come back up. But we just do one more on this side, and we're actually going to have a little intermission and come back up. All right, now if you'll grab one of your blocks, so your strap we'll use again very shortly, but if you'll put your block on its side in front of you and then come up onto your knees. So I am going to be this whole month, we're going to be talking about this hip hinge because it is so important. And I have a friend that's had some problems now going to yoga because of doing so, she does vinyasa flow like real fast. And now she's got back issues. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going, this is something that I'm just, really going to be passionate about this week. Okay. Or this month. So right here, just like we've been doing, what we're going to do is we're hinging and bending or sticking the bottom back, reaching out for that block. And then you'll lift the block up, all while maintaining this strong, straight spine. And then so the bottom does go back toward the heels. The idea here again is to not round. So once you drop that block back down gently, you're just picking it right back up. So this is slow movement, that slow hinge, easy hinge, and back up. And let's just actually bring the block back to the floor and we'll sit back onto the heels again. All right, or if you need to just take a little break from sitting back onto the heels, feel free to do that. All right. Your left hand will now be on top, your right arm underneath. Again, this is not a full cow's face pose. Instead, it's an opportunity to kind of get a sense so that if you find yourself rounding, you'll feel that strap taut even more. All right. So from this position, with the core engaged, you're hinging from the hip, and you might not go very far forward. It is all right. And come back up. I find that my back does a little more crunching. So I really need to be careful going forward. This is actually a good, just slow down, opportunity to slow down with that hip hinge. All right, let's just do one more. And come back up, release that strap. Come up onto your knees. All right, with your strong container, strong core, the bottom is going to go back. You'll lift the block up. So we are trying really hard to not round through the spine here. Drop the block down. When you come back, bring the block up. Try not to open up through the rib cage. Keep it tight in. All right, let's just do one more. Yeah. All right, let's bring that block down, and then you can remove it to the side. All right, come to all fours, curl your toes under, walk hands and feet together. Standing forward bend. Let's hang out and relax. Feel that length through the back body. Let the upper body be passive. Find any variation of the standing forward fold that you'd like to practice. All right, let's slowly move to a standing position. We're going to do just a few rounds of a half salute. Now, let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, back bend to open. Now, when you inhale up, let's actually bring the hands back to the hips and feel that hip crease with your pointer and maybe middle finger. Keep the spine aligned, keep the knees bent if you need to, and fold until then once you find that position where you have to start to round through the spine, then you let yourself round. But finding the hinge and the straight spine as long as you can. And then let your hands, you can actually keep them there. Feel free to bend deep. We're going to lift back up. This is slow movement. Good. Let's actually keep our hands here one more time. So you're hinging. And again, notice if you were to straighten how you might not be able to go quite as far with a straight back. Then once you find your range, then let yourself completely fold. So the hinge is really important and that strong spine, but at some point you are going to need to round. Like it will be a rounding situation, but we want to go as far as we can without that round. All right. One more time, we're rising up like this. So if you want to bring your hands to that hip crease. All right, let's do a little bit with our arms. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, back bend this time. Inhale, lengthen up and go wide, but think of that strong, straight spine, and then let yourself completely fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, as deep a bend as you need to rise up. Exhale, back bend. We do one more round. Lengthen up. Let's find that hinge. Fold. Inhale, half lift. Deep bend as you need, or as much of a bend as you need. And then we fold ourselves forward. Good. Reverse swan dive, sweep all the way up. Exhale, back bend. Lengthen up, arms come down to your side as you exhale. All right, if you'll turn your mat now. Yeah. All right, so if you turn your mat the other way so that it mirrors mine, we're going to have a seat in the middle of the mat, but if you'll have your strap close to you and you can leave that block that is over on your right hand side of the mat. Okay, so I'm turning my back to you for just a bit to be sure that I get us started on the right side. So we are going to bring our right leg underneath and our left leg on top for cow's face legs. So maybe the knees stack one on top of the other, maybe they don't. That left hip, if you need, you can actually use your block. How are you doing back there? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's just hold here. So left leg on top of right. And then your right hand is going to come up and over your left arm underneath. And now we'll let those hands walk toward each other. Sit up nice and tall. Feel free to close your eyes and just feel there's a lot going on here. Opening through the shoulders, opening through the hips. the two extremely mobile joints in our body. You're welcome to stay upright, or you could find a little hinge here if you'd like. Slowly come back up if you did hinge, release the strap. We are going to make our way around to face this edge of the mat with the foot forward, your left foot forward, and your right foot back. All right, and let's find our lizard pose. So heel toe that left foot over toward the side, right hand or hands to the inside part of that left foot with either using the block or not. If you want a little more opening for that back hip flexor, maybe lifting the knee up off the mat, letting the hips sink here. And breathe. All right, now let's slowly walk up. Your right hand will stay to the mat or to the block. Your left arm, maybe it reaches around for the top part of that right foot or the ankle, and then rotate your body open toward this left knee, keeping the left knee pulled into the midline. And let me gently release this. All right, we're going to bring the block with us. Curling the right toes under, you'll lift that right knee up and we'll walk to face the other long edge of the mat. You're facing the back of the room. You'll be in a wide leg standing forward bend. Now, you may need to line those feet up a little bit. That left foot might have been back. So line your feet up, maybe angle your toes in. We're hanging out here in this wide leg standing forward bend. You could use the block in any way that supports you. You could also do a little walk forward of the hands for wide leg down dog, walk the hands through the legs. All right, we'll continue our walk around, bringing the block and the strap with us to this other, well, that strap, as long as it's accessible to the middle of the mat. All right, so now we're facing this opposite short edge of the mat. Your right foot, you'll heel toe it out toward the right long edge of the mat, and we find lizard pose on this side, we hold. So whatever variation of lizard you'd like to practice, whatever this side you feel like it needs, might be different than that other side. All right, we're going to find this twist and quad stretch on the other side. Left hand stays, right arm extends up, maybe bending that back knee, maybe reaching for that back foot. If you got a hold of that Try to open up toward that right knee, keeping the right knee pulled into the midline. Good, and then let's release. All right, here's some trickiness. We're gonna bring this left knee in a little bit closer, and then we kind of scoot ourselves around to face the middle, the front of the mat, kind of in the middle. You're back in your cow's face pose with right knee on top, left knee under. And this is where that left arm will now go on top and the right arm under for cow's face arms. Maybe you stay seated upright. Maybe you do a little hip hinge. Bring the body forward. And let's release that. Send the legs long out to the side. And we are going to move on to our backs. And if you'll bring a block with you, we are going to do just a little bit more to open up through the front of the hip. So once you're on your back, if you'll slide your block under the lower part of the back for supported bridge pose, and then you can choose to send both legs long out in front or one leg at a time, but we pause here for quite a few breaths. So find whatever position feels the best. Feel free to vary it to, again, plenty of time. And now let's slowly slide the soles of the feet back in, press the hips up, slide the block out from underneath, hug the knees into the chest. You're welcome to keep the knees drawn in. You could find a happy baby pose if you'd like, or any other variation of this. All right, we are going to twist with knees dropped to the left. So if there's any certain leg position you'd like for this twist, feel free to find that here and then gently drop the knees, the legs over to that left side. Arms can go wide, cactus arms, whatever you'd like. You could turn and look to your right to add a neck stretch. Slowly bring knees back to center. We'll switch to the other side. So again, you choose the shape. Dropping knees, legs gently to that right side. Maybe turning to look to your left. Slowly bring your legs back to center. Any last movement here that you'd like to practice? Take time for anything else that's needed. This is also time to set yourself up for your final pose. So if you'd like to use your props to support you, feel free to set yourself up. Surrender. This last remaining time is still yours. Let yourself be still, be relaxed, be quiet. Bring some easy movement back to your body. Join me in a seated position whenever you are ready. Let's take one more big deep breath in together. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhaling your hands to your heart. This is a quote from Sanya Rakati. Surrender to what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste.